Chapter 17. My boss brings another sheet of paper to my desk and sets it at my elbow. I don't even wear a tie anymore. My boss is wearing his blue tie, so it must be a Thursday. The door to my boss's office is always closed now. We haven't traded more than 2 words any day since he found the Fight Club rules in the copy machine, and I may be implied I might gut him with a shotgun blast. Just me clowning around again. Or I might call the compliance people at the Department of Transportation. There's a front seat mounting bracket that never passed collision testing before it went into production. If you know where to look, there are bodies buried everywhere. Morning, I say. He says, morning. Set at my elbow is another for my eyes only important secret document Tyler wanted me to type up and copy. A week ago, Tyler was pacing out the dimensions of the basement of the rented house on Paper Street. It's 65 shoe lengths from front to back, and 40 shoe lengths side to side. Tyler was thinking out loud. Tyler asked me, "What is 6 times 7? 42. And 42 times 3? 126. Tyler gave me a handwritten list of notes and said to type it and make 72 copies. Why that many? Because, Tyler said, that's how many guys can sleep in the basement if we put them in triple-decker Army surplus bunk beds. I asked what about their stuff. Tyler said, they won't bring anything more than what's on the list, and it should all fit under a mattress. The list my boss finds in the copy machine. The copy machine counter's still set for 72 copies. The list says, bringing the required items does not guarantee admission to training, but no applicant will be considered unless he arrives equipped with the following items and exactly $500 cash for personal burial money. It costs at least $300 to cremate an indigent corpse, Tyler told me, and the price was going up. Anyone who dies without at least this much money, their body goes to an autopsy class. This money must always be carried in the student's shoe, so if the student is ever killed, his death will not be a burden on Project Mayhem. In addition, the applicant has to arrive with the following: 2 black shirts, 2 black pair of trousers, 1 pair of heavy black shoes, 2 pair of black socks and 2 pair of plain underwear, 1 heavy black coat. This includes the clothes the applicant has on his back, 1 white towel, 1 Army surplus cot mattress, 1 white plastic mixing bowl. At my desk, with my boss still standing there, I pick up the original list and tell him thanks. My boss goes into his office, and I set to work playing solitaire on my computer. After work, I give Tyler the copies, and days go by. I go to work. I come home. I go to work. I come home, and there's a guy standing on our front porch. The guy's at the front door with his second black shirt and pants in a brown paper sack. He's got the last 3 items, a white towel, an Army surplus mattress, and a plastic bowl set on the porch railing. From an upstairs window, Tyler and I peek out at the guy, and Tyler tells me to send the guy away. He's too young, Tyler says. The guy on the porch is Mr. Angelface, whom I tried to destroy the night Tyler invented Project Mayhem. Even with his 2 black eyes and blonde crew cut, you see his tough, pretty scowl without wrinkles or scars. Put him in a dress and make him smile, and he'd be a woman. Mr. Angel just stands, his toes against the front door. Just looks straight ahead into the splintering wood with his hands at his sides, wearing black shoes, black shirt, black pair of trousers. Get rid of him, Tyler tells me. He's too young. I ask how young is too young. It doesn't matter, Tyler says. If the applicant is young, we tell him he's too young. If he's fat, he's too fat. If he's old, he's too old. Thin, he's too thin. White, he's too white. Black, he's too black. This is how Buddhist temples have tested applicants going back for a bazillion years, Tyler says. You tell the applicant to go away, and if his resolve is so strong that he waits at the entrance without food or shelter or encouragement for 3 days, then, and only then, can he enter and begin the training. So I tell Mr. Angel he's too young, but at lunchtime he's still there. After lunch, I go out and beat Mr. Angel with a broom and kick the guy's sack out into the street. From upstairs, Tyler watches me stickball the broom upside the kid's ear. The kid just standing there. Then I kick his stuff into the gutter and scream. Go away, I'm screaming. Haven't you heard? You're too young. You'll never make it, I scream. Come back in a couple of years and apply again. Just go. Just get off my porch. The next day, the guy is still there, and Tyler goes out to go. I'm sorry. Tyler says he's sorry he told the guy about training. But the guy is really too young, and would he please just go? Good cop, bad cop. I scream at the poor guy again. Then 6 hours later, Tyler goes out and says he's sorry, but no. The guy has to leave. Tyler says he's going to call the police if the guy won't leave. And the guy stays. And his clothes are still in the gutter. The wind takes the torn paper sack away. And the guy stays. On the third day, another applicant is at the front door. Mr. Angel is still there, and Tyler goes down and just tells Mr. Angel, Come in. Get your stuff out of the street and come in. To the new guy, Tyler says he's sorry, but there's been a mistake. The new guy is too old to train here, and would he please leave? I go to work every day. I come home, and every day, there's one or two guys waiting on the front porch. These new guys don't make eye contact. I shut the door and leave them on the porch. This happens every day for a while, and sometimes the applicants will leave, but most times, the applicants stick it out until the third day, until most of the 72 bunk beds Tyler and I bought and set up in the basement are full. One day, Tyler gives me $500 in cash and tells me to keep it in my shoe all the time. My personal burial money. This is another old Buddhist monastery thing. I come home from work now, and the house is filled with strangers that Tyler has accepted. All of them working. The whole first floor turns into a kitchen and a soap factory. The bathroom is never empty. Teams of men disappear for a few days and come home with red rubber bags of thin, watery fat. One night, Tyler comes upstairs to find me hiding in my room and says, Don't bother them. They all know what to do. It's part of Project Mayhem. No one guy understands the whole plan, but each guy is trained to do one simple task perfectly. The rule in Project Mayhem is you have to trust Tyler. Then Tyler's gone. Teams of Project Mayhem guys render fat all day. I'm not sleeping. All night I hear other teams mix the lye and cut the bars and bake the bars of soap on cookie sheets, then wrap each bar in tissue and seal it with the Paper Street Soap Company label. Everyone except me seems to know what to do, and Tyler is never home. I hug the walls, being a mouse trapped in this clockwork of silent men with the energy of trained monkeys, cooking and working and sleeping in teams. Pull a lever, push a button. A team of space monkeys cooks meals all day, and all day teams of space monkeys are eating out of the plastic bowls they brought with them. One morning I'm leaving for work, and Big Bob's on the front porch, wearing black shoes and a black shirt and pants. I ask, has he seen Tyler lately? Did Tyler send him here? The first rule about Project Mayhem, Big Bob says with his heels together and his back ramrod straight, is you don't ask questions about Project Mayhem. So what brainless little honor has Tyler assigned him, I ask? There are guys whose job is just to boil rice all day or wash out eating bowls or clean the crapper. All day. Has Tyler promised Big Bob enlightenment if he spends 16 hours a day wrapping bars of soap? Big Bob doesn't say anything. I go to work. I come home and Big Bob's still on the porch. I don't sleep all night, and the next morning, Big Bob's out tending the garden. Before I leave for work, I ask Big Bob who let him in. Who assigned him this task? Did he see Tyler? Was Tyler here last night? Big Bob says, the first rule in Project Mayhem is you don't talk. I cut him off. I say, yeah. Yeah. And while I'm at work, teams of space monkeys dig up the muddy lawn around the house, and cut the dirt with Epsom salts to lower the acidity, and spade in loads of free steer manure from the stockyards and bags of hair clippings from barbershops to ward off moles and mice and boost the protein in the soil. At any time of the night, space monkeys from some slaughterhouse come home with bags of blood meal to boost the iron in the soil, and bone meal to boost the phosphorus. Teams of space monkeys plant basil and thyme, and lettuce and starts of witch hazel, eucalyptus and mock orange, and mint in a kaleidoscope knot pattern. A rose window in every shade of green. And other teams go out at night and kill the slugs and snails by candlelight. Another team of space monkeys picks only the most perfect leaves and juniper berries to boil for a natural dye. Comfrey because it's a natural disinfectant. Violet leaves because they cure headaches, and sweet woodruff because it gives soap a cut grass smell. In the kitchen are bottles of 80-proof vodka to make the translucent rose geranium and brown sugar soap and the patchouli soap. And I steal a bottle of vodka and spend my personal burial money on cigarettes. Marla shows up. We talk about the plants. Marla and I walk on raked gravel paths through the kaleidoscope green patterns of the garden, drinking and smoking. We talk about her breasts. We talk about everything except Tyler Durden. And one day it's in the newspaper how a team of men wearing black had stormed through a better neighborhood and a luxury car dealership, slamming baseball bats against the front bumpers of cars so the airbags inside would explode in a powdery mess with their car alarms screaming. At the Paper Street Soap Company, other teams pick the petals from roses or anemones and lavender and pack the flowers into boxes with a cake of pure tallow that will absorb their scent for making soap with a flower smell. Marla tells me about the plants. The rose, Marla tells me, is a natural astringent. Some of the plants have obituary names: iris, basil, rue, rosemary, and verbena. Some, like meadowsweet and cowslips, sweet flag and spikenard, are like the names of Shakespeare fairies. Deer tongue with its sweet vanilla smell. Witch hazel, another natural astringent. Orris root, the wild Spanish iris. Every night, Marla and I walk in the garden until I'm sure that Tyler's not coming home that night. Right behind us is always a space monkey trailing us to pick up the twist of balm or rue or mint Marla crushes under my nose. A dropped cigarette butt. The space monkey rakes the path behind him to erase our ever being there. And one night in an uptown square park, another group of men poured gasoline around every tree and from tree to tree and set a perfect little forest fire. It was in the newspaper how townhouse windows across the street from the fire melted, and parked cars farted and settled on melted flat tires. Tyler's rented house on Paper Street is a living thing, wet on the inside from so many people sweating and breathing. So many people are moving inside, the house moves. Another night that Tyler didn't come home. Someone was drilling bank machines and pay telephones and then screwing lube fittings into the drilled holes, and using a grease gun to pump the bank machines and pay telephones full of axle grease or vanilla pudding. And Tyler was never at home. But after a month, a few of the space monkeys had Tyler's kiss burned onto the back of their hand. Then those space monkeys were gone, too, and new ones were on the front porch to replace them. And every day the teams of men came and went in different cars. You never saw the same car twice. One evening I hear Marla on the front porch telling a space monkey, "I'm here to see Tyler. Tyler Durden. He lives here. I'm his friend." The space monkey says, "I'm sorry, but you're too..." And he pauses. "You're too young to train here." Marla says, "Get screwed." "Besides," the space monkey says, "you haven't brought the required items. 2 black shirts, 2 pair of black pants." Marla screams, "Tyler!" 1 pair of heavy black shoes. "Tyler!" 2 pair of black socks and 2 pair of plain underwear. "Tyler!" And I hear the front door slam shut. Marla doesn't wait the 3 days. Most days after work, I come home and make a peanut butter sandwich. When I come home, one space monkey is reading to the assembled space monkeys who sit covering the whole first floor. "You are not a beautiful and unique snowflake. You are the same decaying organic matter as everyone else, and we are all part of the same compost pile." The space monkey continues, "Our culture has made us all the same. No one is truly white or black or rich anymore. We all want the same. Individually, we are nothing." The reader stops when I walk in to make my sandwich, and all the space monkeys sit silent as if I were alone. I say don't bother. I've already read it. I typed it. Even my boss has probably read it. We're all just a big bunch of crap, I say. Go ahead. Play your little game. Don't mind me. The space monkeys wait in quiet while I make my sandwich and take another bottle of vodka and go up the stairs. Behind me I hear, "You are not a beautiful and unique snowflake." I am Joe's broken heart, because Tyler's dumped me, because my father dumped me. Oh, I could go on and on. Some nights after work, I go to a different fight club in the basement of a bar or garage, and I ask if anybody's seen Tyler Durden. In every new fight club, someone I've never met is standing under the one light in the center of the darkness, surrounded by men and reading Tyler's words. The first rule about Fight Club is you don't talk about Fight Club. When the fights get started, I take the club leader aside and ask if he's seen Tyler. I live with Tyler, I say, and he hasn't been home for a while. The guy's eyes get big and he asks, "Do I really know Tyler Durden?" This happens in most of the new fight clubs. "Yes," I say, "I'm best buddies with Tyler." Then everybody all of a sudden wants to shake my hand. These new guys stare at the butthole in my cheek and the black skin on my face, yellow and green around the edges, and they call me sir. No, sir. Not hardly, sir. Nobody they know has ever met Tyler Durden. Friends of friends met Tyler Durden, and they founded this chapter of Fight Club, sir. Then they wink at me. Nobody they know has ever seen Tyler Durden. Sir. Is it true? Everybody asks. Is Tyler Durden building an army? That's the word. Does Tyler Durden only sleep 1 hour a night? Rumor has it that Tyler's on the road starting fight clubs all over the country. What's next? Everybody wants to know. The meetings for Project Mayhem have moved to bigger basements because each committee, arson, assault, mischief, and misinformation, gets bigger as more guys graduate out of Fight Club. Each committee has a leader, and even the leaders don't know where Tyler's at. Tyler calls them every week on the phone. Everybody on Project Mayhem wants to know what's next. Where are we going? What is there to look forward to? On Paper Street, Marla and I walk through the garden at night with our bare feet. Every step brushing up the smell of sage and lemon verbena and rose geranium. Black shirts and black pants hunch around us with candles, lifting plant leaves to kill a snail or a slug. Marla asks what's going on here. Tufts of hair surface beside the dirt clods. Hair and shit. Bone meal and blood meal. The plants are growing faster than the space monkeys can cut them back. Marla asks, "What are you going to do?" What's the word? In the dirt is a shining spot of gold, and I kneel down to see. What's going to happen next, I don't know, I tell Marla. It looks like we've both been dumped. In the corner of my eye, the space monkeys pace around in black, each one hunched over his candle. The little spot of gold in the dirt is a molar, with a gold filling. Next to it surface 2 more molars, with silver amalgam fillings. It's a jawbone. I say no. I can't say what's going to happen. And I push the 1, 2, 3 molars into the dirt and hair and shit and bone and blood where Marla won't see. Chapter 18. This Friday night I fall asleep at my desk at work. When I wake up with my face and my crossed arms on my desktop, the telephone is ringing, and everyone else is gone. A telephone was ringing in my dream, and it's not clear if reality slipped into my dream, or if my dream is slopping over into reality. I answer the phone. Compliance and liability. That's my department. Compliance and liability. The sun is going down, and piled-up storm clouds the size of Wyoming and Japan are headed our way. It's not like I have a window at work. All the outside walls are floor-to-ceiling glass. Everything where I work is floor-to-ceiling glass. Everything is vertical blinds. Everything is industrial, low-pile gray carpet spotted with little tombstone monuments where the PCs plug into the network. Everything is a maze of cubicles boxed in with fences of upholstered plywood. A vacuum cleaner hums somewhere. My boss has gone on vacation. He sent me an email and then disappeared. I'm to prepare for a formal review in 2 weeks. Reserve a conference room. Get all my ducks in a row. Update my resume. That sort of thing. They're building a case against me. I am Joe's complete lack of surprise. I have been behaving miserably. I pick up the phone and it's Tyler, and he says, "Go outside. There's some guys waiting for you in the parking lot." I ask who they are. "They're all waiting," Tyler says. I smell gasoline on my hands. Tyler goes, "Hit the road. They have a car outside. They have a Cadillac." I'm still asleep. Here I'm not sure if Tyler is my dream, or if I am Tyler's dream. I sniff the gasoline on my hands. There's nobody else around, and I get up and walk out to the parking lot. A guy in Fight Club works on cars, so he's parked at the curb in somebody's black Corniche, and all I can do is look at it, all black and gold, this huge cigarette case ready to drive me somewhere. This mechanic guy who gets out of the car tells me not to worry. He switched the plates with another car in the long-term parking lot at the airport. Our Fight Club mechanic says he can start anything. 2 wires twist out of the steering column. Touch the wires to each other. You complete the circuit to the starter solenoid. You got a car to joyride. Either that, or you could hack the key code through a dealership. 3 space monkeys are sitting in the back seat wearing their black shirts and black pants. See no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. I ask, "So where's Tyler?" The Fight Club mechanic guy is holding the Cadillac open chauffeur style for me. The mechanic is tall and all bones with shoulders that remind you of a telephone pole crossbar. I ask, "Are we going to see Tyler?" Waiting for me in the middle of the front seat is a birthday cake with candles ready to be lit. I get in. We start driving. Even a week after Fight Club, you've got no problem driving inside the speed limit. Maybe you've been passing black shit, internal injuries, for 2 days. But you are so cool. Other cars drive around you. Cars tailgate. You get the finger from other drivers. Total strangers hate you. It's absolutely nothing personal. After Fight Club, you're so relaxed you just cannot care. You don't even turn the radio on. Maybe your ribs stab along a hairline fracture every time you take a breath. Cars behind you blink their lights. The sun is going down, orange and gold. The mechanic is there driving. The birthday cake is on the seat between us. It's one scary fuck to see guys like our mechanic at Fight Club. Skinny guys, they never go limp. They fight until they're burger. White guys like skeleton dipped in yellow wax with tattoos. Black men like dried meat. These guys usually hang together the way you can picture them at Narcotics Anonymous. They never say stop. It's like they're all energy, shaking so fast they blur around the edges. These guys in recovery from something. As if the only choice they have left is how they're going to die, and they want to die in a fight. They have to fight each other, these guys. Nobody else will tag them for a fight, and they can't tag anybody except another twitching, skinny, all bones and rush, since nobody else will register to fight them. Guys watching don't even yell when guys like our mechanic go at each other. All you hear is the fighters breathing through their teeth. Hands slapping for a hold. The whistle and impact when fist hammer and hammer on thin hollow ribs. Point blank in a clinch. You see tendons and muscle and veins under the skin of these guys jump. Their skin shines, sweating, corded and wet under the one light. 10, 15 minutes disappear. Their smell. They sweat and these guys smell. It reminds me of fried chicken. 20 minutes of Fight Club will go by. Finally, one guy will go down. After a fight, 2 drug recovery guys will hang together for the rest of the night, wasted and smiling from fighting so hard. Since Fight Club, this mechanic guy is always hanging around the house on Paper Street. Wants me to hear the song he wrote. Wants me to see the birdhouse he built. The guy showed me a picture of some girl and asked me if she was pretty enough to marry. Sitting in the front seat of the Corniche, the guy says, "Did you see the cake I made for you? I made this." It's not my birthday. "Some oil was getting by the rings," the mechanic says. "But I changed the oil in the air filter. I checked the valve lash and the timing. It's supposed to rain tonight, so I changed the blades." I ask what Tyler's been planning. The mechanic opens the ashtray and pushes the cigarette lighter in. He says, "Is this a test? Are you testing us?" "Where's Tyler?" "The first rule about Fight Club is you don't talk about Fight Club," the mechanic says. "And the last rule about Project Mayhem is you don't ask questions." So what can he tell me? He says, "What you have to understand is your father was your model for God." Behind us, my job and my office are smaller. 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 Gone. I sniff the gasoline on my hands. The mechanic says, "If you're male and you're Christian and living in America, your father is your model for God. And if you never know your father, if your father bails out or dies or is never at home, what do you believe about God?" This is all Tyler Durden dogma, scrawled on bits of paper while I was asleep and given to me to type and photocopy at work. I've read it all. Even my boss has probably read it all. "What you end up doing," the mechanic says, "is you spend your life searching for a father and God. What you have to consider," he says, "is the possibility that God doesn't like you. Could be God hates us. This is not the worst thing that can happen." How Tyler saw it was that getting God's attention for being bad was better than getting no attention at all. Maybe because God's hate is better than his indifference. If you could be either God's worst enemy or nothing, which would you choose? We're God's middle children, according to Tyler Durden, with no special place in history and no special attention. Unless we get God's attention, we have no hope of damnation or redemption. Which is worse, hell or nothing? Only if we're caught and punished can we be saved. "Burn the Louvre," the mechanic says, "and wipe your ass with the Mona Lisa. This way, at least, God would know our names." The lower you fall, the higher you fly. The farther you run, the more God wants you back. If the prodigal son had never left home, the mechanic says, the fatted calf would still be alive. It's not enough to be numbered with the grains of sand on the beach and the stars in the sky. The mechanic merges the black Corniche onto the old bypass highway with no passing lane, and already a line of trucks strings together behind us, going the legal speed limit. The Corniche fills up with the headlights behind us, and there we are, talking, reflected in the inside of the windshield, driving inside the speed limit, as fast as the law allows. A law is a law, Tyler would say. Driving too fast was the same as setting a fire, was the same as planting a bomb, was the same as shooting a man. A criminal is a criminal is a criminal. Last week we could have filled another 4 fight clubs, the mechanic says. Maybe Big Bob can take over running the next chapter if we find a bar. So next week, he'll go through the rules with Big Bob and give him a fight club of his own. From now on, when a leader starts Fight Club, when everyone is standing around the light in the center of the basement, waiting, the leader should walk around and around the outside edge of the crowd, in the dark. I ask who made up the new rules. Is it Tyler? The mechanic smiles and says, "You know who makes up the rules." The new rule is that nobody should be the center of Fight Club, he says. Nobody's the center of Fight Club except the 2 men fighting. The leader's voice will yell, walking slowly around the crowd, out in the darkness. The men in the crowd will stare at the other men across the empty center of the room. This is how it will be in all the fight clubs. Finding a bar or a garage to host a new fight club isn't tough. The first bar, the one where the original fight club still meets, they make their month's rent in just one fight club Saturday night. According to the mechanic, another new fight club rule is that fight club will always be free. It will never cost to get in. The mechanic yells out the driver's window into the oncoming traffic, and the night wind pouring down the side of the car. "We want you, not your money." The mechanic yells out the window. "As long as you're at Fight Club, you're not how much money you've got in the bank. You're not your job, you're not your family, and you're not who you tell yourself." The mechanic yells into the wind. "You're not your name." A space monkey in the back seat picks it up. "You're not your problems." The mechanic yells. "You're not your problems." A space monkey shouts. "You're not your age." The mechanic yells. "You're not your age." Here, the mechanic swerves us into the oncoming lane, filling the car with headlights through the windshield, cool as ducking jabs. One car and then another comes at us head-on, screaming its horn. The mechanic swerves just enough to miss each one. Headlights come at us bigger and bigger, horn screaming. The mechanic cranes forward into the glare and noise and screams, "You are not your hopes!" No one takes up the yell. This time the car coming head-on swerves in time to save us. Another car comes on. Headlights blinking high, low, horn blaring, and the mechanic screams, "You will not be saved!" The mechanic doesn't swerve, but the head-on car swerves. Another car, the mechanic screams, "We are all going to die someday!" This time the oncoming car swerves, but the mechanic swerves back into its path. The car swerves and the mechanic matches it, head-on again. You melt and swell at that moment. For that moment, nothing matters. Look up at the stars and you're gone. Not your luggage. Nothing matters. Not your bad breath. The windows are dark outside and the horns are blaring around you. The headlights are flashing high and low and high in your face. And you will never have to go to work again. You will never have to get another haircut. "Quick!" the mechanic says. The car swerves again and the mechanic swerves back into its path. "What?" he says. "What will you wish you'd done before you died?" With the oncoming car screaming its horn, the mechanic so cool, he even looks away to look at me beside him in the front seat, and he says, 10 seconds to impact. 9, in 8, 7, in 6. My job, I say. I wish I'd quit my job. The scream goes by as the car swerves and the mechanic doesn't swerve to hit it. More lights are coming at us just ahead. The mechanic turns to the 3 monkeys in the back seat. "Hey, space monkeys," he says. "You see how the game's played? Fess up now or we're all dead." A car passes us on the right with a bumper sticker saying, "I drive better when I'm drunk." The newspaper says thousands of these bumper stickers just appeared on cars one morning. Other bumper stickers said things like, "Make mine veal," "Drunk drivers against mothers," "Recycle all the animals." Reading the newspaper, I knew the Misinformation Committee had pulled this, or the Mischief Committee. Sitting beside me, our clean and sober Fight Club mechanic tells me, yeah, the drunk bumper stickers are part of Project Mayhem. The 3 space monkeys are quiet in the back seat. The Mischief Committee is printing airline pocket cards that show passengers fighting each other for oxygen masks while the jetliner flames down toward the rocks at 1,000 miles an hour. Mischief and Misinformation Committees are racing each other to develop a computer virus that will make automated bank tellers sick enough to vomit storms of $10 and $20 bills. The cigarette lighter in the dash pops out hot. The mechanic tells me to light the candles on the birthday cake. I light the candles, and the cake shimmers under a little halo of fire. "What will you wish you'd done before you died?" the mechanic says, and swerves us into the path of a truck coming head-on. The truck hits the air horn, bellowing one long blast after another. The truck's headlights, like a sunrise, come brighter and brighter to sparkle off the mechanic's smile. "Make your wish quick," he says to the rearview mirror, where the 3 space monkeys are sitting in the back seat. "We've got 5 seconds to oblivion." 1, he says. 2. The truck is everything in front of us, blinding bright and roaring. 3. "Ride a horse," comes from the back seat. "Build a house," comes another voice. "Get a tattoo." The mechanic says, "Believe in me and you shall die forever." Too late. The truck swerves and the mechanic swerves, but the rear of our corniche fishtails against one end of the truck's front bumper. Not that I know this at the time. What I know is the lights. The truck headlights blink out into darkness, and I'm thrown first against the passenger door, and then against the birthday cake and the mechanic behind the steering wheel. The mechanic's lying crabbed on the wheel to keep it straight, and the birthday candles snuff out. In one perfect second there's no light inside the warm black leather car, and our shouts all hit the same deep note, the same low moan of the truck's air horn, and we have no control, no choice, no direction, and no escape, and we're dead.